This video is dedicated to Joy Adamson, an important scientist, naturalist, and feminist. Joy Adamson was born on January 20th, 1910 in Austria-Hungary. As a young adult, she considered careers as a concert pianist and in medicine, but that all changed when she married her first husband, Victor von Klarwil, in 1935. He sent her to Africa to find a house for them during World War I, and while she was there, she met a botanist named Peter Bally, who became her second husband in 1937, after she divorced Klarwil and moved to Africa by herself. 5 years later, she ended her marriage with Bally and met a man named George Adamson. He soon became her third husband, and they traveled all over East Africa for his job while she painted the plant life and indigenous cultures of Kenya. In 1956, George Adamson killed a mother lion in self-defense, and when he found her 3 cubs, he brought them home to Joy. They released 2 of them back into the wild and kept 1 to raise themselves. They named her Elsa, and she became a very big part in their lives. Joy wrote her first book about Elsa, called Born Free, where she talked in detail about her exciting adventures with raising a lion. She even stated, "Elsa became almost like my child. Because I had no children, I have spent all my emotion on her and my other animals, but I cannot make my own." She made 2 sequels to the book called Living Free and Forever Free. After her books became international bestsellers, she started the famous conservation group called the Elsa Wild Animal Appeal. Because of Joy Adamson's contributions to wildlife and science, Laura Barker entered the International Quilting Bee in 1996, making a triangle quilt piece in her honor. The piece is outlined in orange and the middle is blue. On the left side of the triangle, the words Joy Adamson are stitched in cursive. On the right side, the word Kenya is stitched in cursive, and on the bottom of the triangle, the word Isiolo is stitched in cursive, all in the orange outline. These 3 things are relevant to the nomination of Joy Adamson because of her name. Kenya is where she spent her adult life being active in wildlife, and Isiolo is a little town where Joy and George Adamson lived before she died. On the inside of the triangle, the blue part, there are orange paw prints to indicate her love for animals, and the plant in white, which indicates her paintings of Kenya plant life that she did. In Laura's message about the quilt piece, she said, "The quilt I made too hurriedly in her honor is made 100% of cotton cloth, thread, batting, and floss." It should be pretty obvious now how Joy's contributions were important to science and naturalism. However, it may still be unclear how she was important to feminism. She was known as a scientist, and since female scientists were a rare sight in the 1900s, and because her work gained a lot of attention and was so groundbreaking, it was a big step forward for women all around. She, along with a few other important female scientists, opened the door for women in the field of science. On January 3, 1980, Joy never returned to her home after her usual evening stroll. Her body was later found down the road mangled by a possible animal attack. Authorities discovered she was stabbed to death, and a former employee of hers was arrested and convicted of the crime. Joy Adamson is remembered today by her contributions to the preservation of wildlife, her art pieces and books, and she is the reason that many women today can go into fields such as biology, chemistry, physics, and many other fields of science.